Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome and thank you so very much for joining me. Today I'm doing my December daily, the 26th through the end of the month, and some touch-ups. And this will be the last video unless I get requests for page flips. I know that I like to watch videos where people flip through the pages, and maybe you want to see those too. I didn't do all of my die cutting for my numbers at the beginning of the month, and so I'm doing those right here, and I'm just showing you how I do it. I have my bin of, I call it my specialty paper bin. It has bulletin board border, mirror paper, the fancy foam stuff I got from Queen & Company, every blue of mirror paper that I can possibly find. It's where I keep my shimmer papers. It's getting a little full and there's no organization. I usually have a scrap bag, and for some reason that I can't comprehend, I dumped it out on top. And so that's what I'm doing, is I'm just going through my scraps. The gold glitter one, well, there was some gold glitter paper that needed to be used. If you do journals and you die cut small numbers like this, or you like to cut a lot of stars like me, you can save those tiny scraps. Just put them in a little bag, have your little Ziploc or some packaging that some embellishments came in, and you can die cut when you watch TV. I mean, that's really what I should have done, was sat down and cut all the numbers. Now we're ready. We've got them through the end of the month. We can make it. I'm looking around and figuring out, I have a lot of extra pages so I can see where I want them. And then I had that piece of paper where I experimented with, I think those are essentially like floral accessories. And they already had, oh, there's a visit from Wilson. He comes and he nudges me. I tried to get him to look up at the camera for you and say hi, but then he pushes against me. Anyway, they're floral accents, and there were gold stars on that paper already from a new paste that I was trying out. I think that's a Stickles paste. So I just put them on there. You'll notice I put them on very crooked, but I think it's still fun. And then I have that little washi tape that says Joy down there, and it's all on sheet music. Sometimes when I'm putting my journals together, I do things, I don't know why I felt like it needed a line, but I didn't make this a tuck spot because old sheet music is not sturdy. So I just decided to just glue it down and not have to worry about it. And I have plenty of room at this point, so I can make different tuck spots or use 3 pages for one day if I want. So I wasn't worried about it. If space was an issue, I could have put some paper on the back and made it a tuck spot. Late in the month of a December daily or even my July daily, I start looking around the counter and go, I haven't used that and I want to. And so that's what some of these products are. This blue netting I got maybe 2 years ago, I think, at a free art swap. And I love to use it, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of glue to glue it on. In that case, I stapled it, but we'll have to work on it later because I couldn't get the stapler up the side because I had a flip on the back. This is a scrumptious piece of what I call like a paint schmush. My friend Andrea does paint pours, and she gives me her cool trash, and that's what that was. And I found it sitting on the counter. I didn't know I had any of those left. I don't throw away tiny bits. As a card maker, I don't keep nearly as much stuff. As a junk journaler, my room is a hot mess. Then here, Andrea sent me a video. I cannot remember, I'm sorry who it was, but I think they were demonstrating Joggles products about using foil without heat. And I don't have like a mink or a laminator or any of that. And I had this blue foil that I bought at Expo or somewhere like 2 years ago, and it was on the this needs to be used list. So I got out a tape runner, and tape runners are speckly, so they make a different texture. And then I got out some double-sided tape and a really narrow stripe and put it on there. And I'm just experimenting. And I'm not using the bone folder on top of the foil, just trying to get the adhesive down and work around the foil I've already put down. Then I grab the silver piece of paper that I used in a different part of this video, and I do the same thing again. I put it down upside down. At least I figure it out sooner. Right now I'm like, are you kidding me? And it pulls some of the adhesive off. So then I just rub it, I flip it over, and I get the foil on. You got to put the foil shiny side up, people. I don't know why that's so hard for me. Then I tried to glue down this scrumptious little bit, but it was so narrow, I just didn't think it was going to work. So I tore off the end and I put some more adhesive down. Then I'm going to come back and use the proper side, put it shiny side up and rub it on there. So then I have that pattern, because this is foil that I've reused from different projects that Noni did. I'm going to do it again here. In other videos, I've put glitter over it at the end, so the sticky area will take glitter. But in this one, I was like, wait a minute, I have silver, I have a pattern, and I have this beautiful blue foil. And wait, this is amazing. Look at that. The blue and silver combined. Oh my gosh. Love it. Absolutely love it. I just played, I think I might have done some more of these off camera too, because I was having fun with them. I just made this one, I think, that I actually put into the journal. Blue and silver, and using trash. I am using a card maker's trash in these because the blue foil was mine, but all the other foils you see in my video, those are from my friend Noni. She made me something, and she made herself something, and then she gave me the trash. As a junk journaler, you can use so much stuff. So then I'm trying to figure out, where is this little bit gonna go? And that is a catalog, a flower catalog page. So it's not that sturdy, but you can make it work. And I'm sorry, I'm a little out of frame here. I'm just making a tuck spot for the corner with a flip up thing. And I don't think I've done any of these before, but when I did July Daily with Melody Made It, she has a channel here on YouTube. She does these cute little corner tuck flips a lot, and I thought, well, I need one of those at some point. Plus, I was running out of little ideas, and I didn't want the tag covered up a lot. I wanted it to show. Then this was ribbon that I just love and was absolutely sure that I needed to use. I think Andrea picked that up for me somewhere, and it is just the best ribbon. Blue and white and swirly. And there we go. Tuck spot. And that's the 26th. Then the 27th, I don't know if I've showed you this before or if this was in a video. I may have skipped that. My apologies. The really white trees on the left are gesso, and the more gray sheer ones are modeling paste, and I used a stencil for those. I think it was a stencil that came in my Echo Park box. I don't know. It's trees. It was a little tricky because it was on this page. Maybe I showed you that last time. When I put it on there, I didn't have a plan for the page, and I had already put wrapping paper and a bird. I got a lot going on this page. Then I didn't want to glue on top of any of that goodness, so I decided to make a page flip right there. Again, I went into my specialty thing, had a tiny piece of this foam or Queen & Company sticky foam. You can die cut it. It's self-adhesive on the back. It comes in different colors. It's kind of magical. I used a tiny tag die with it, put some string through it, and then I decided, yep, love it. I'm going to glue the numbers to it. Now, because I wanted to put the string through it, I took the sticky back off of it. That was not my best move. I should have just left that on and then torn most of it off. Even if the string part held on to its backing, who cares? But we'll work through that. Then I had a tiny bit of that blue crepe paper. Now, crepe paper, remember streamers from when you were a kid, right? If you use these outside, they're going to melt, and that color is going to streak. So I tried to use a minimal amount of wet glue on the two, and I used double-sided adhesive to put the washi tape or that crepe paper on there. And the reason I did that was I didn't want to put a silver 2 on a silver tag, and I was really too lazy to worry about contrast and cutting another one. Then I'm gluing my flip on right there, and I think I did it on the counter because I'm finally catching on. Those clamps I love. I love how they clamp. They have a really nice flat little base. They are kind of hard to work. So if you're using clamps because you have like a hand or an arthritis problem and you can't hold things, those clamps are not for you. The smaller ones are easier to use, but they don't have quite as big of a flat base. Now here, anytime I glue this plasticky, wonderful netting stuff down, and I don't think I purchased this. I think maybe one of you gave me this. I can't remember. I need to use Beacon's 3-in-1. I use a really thick glue for that. So I could not get that tag off. A Cricut spatula probably would have worked great. I don't have one. Then I went in the kitchen and looked for a metal spatula, but I had decluttered, so there weren't any that I wanted. And dental floss. When in doubt, go get the dental floss out of the bathroom. So that's what I did to get that thing off the counter, because Queen & Company put some nice adhesive on the back of that thing. And it wasn't going to come off the counter and be the same shape, I don't think, when I pulled it up. Here I just glued, that could have been a pocket or a tip out. Turns out I wanted to make it a pocket. I may not have given it any thought whatsoever. Then I start going through the tags. I should probably give Andrea back her tag dies, huh? Those are borrowed and we don't see each other nearly as much as we would in a non-COVID world. I'm looking at the scraps that I have and the tags and trying to find one that fits. Those colored things, those are out of a paper sample book, and I'm slowly using them up. Got it free at a garage sale. So I have a tag, and I'm going to foil this sucker. That's what I've decided to do. Now, if you want your foil to have clean edges, cut it with scissors, of course, and be careful because when I'm tearing, sometimes I'm messing up the paper of the actual tag, but I'm okay with it. And then I didn't want everything straight and plain, so I just slapped on some random shapes too, to kind of make it a little messier. I just keep finding these pieces of foil that Noni gave me that are mixed into my room somewhere. And I think I used a rag that time. In the video I watched, they said you don't want to use your bone folder because it scratches it. It leaves like scratch marks. And you don't need a lot of pressure. I mean, your finger works fine. I just didn't want to have to mess with my finger for such giant areas. So I did the silver iridescent, and then I came back with blue, and look at it. Oh my gosh. That is good stuff. I bet that would be amazing on a black paper too. That's probably what I should do. I should probably stop using blue paper and use black. I liked that on the tag, but I realized, and that's what my hand movement is, I'm going to tuck it into a pocket, so I didn't think I wanted stitched stuff on top of it. It might have helped it stay in the pocket for thickness, but I just didn't want to. There were snowflakes all over the counter. I just started gluing them down. When I'm junk journaling, I don't stop and think as much about layout and how I space things on the page as I would with a card, because when I'm junk journaling, if I don't like how it looks, I can just add more layers or more stars. I don't feel like there's too much. I think on my cards, I'm much more conservative, so junk journaling is more free. On the paper, I put that washi tape down at the bottom as a stripe because I had the color name showing, because those free papers have the color names printed at the bottom. So I just covered it up with washi. Then I hadn't used one of my crepe paper rosettes. Oh my gosh, I got the word right. So I was determined to do so. I wanted to have it as a something key on a page, so I'm going to put the numbers on top of it. I don't know if I like how it turned out. Maybe I covered up too much of the rosette, but I'm glad I used it. I was happy and it was fun. Look how adorable it is. See, rosettes are cute. I just hate making them. I decide I love it with that blue accent streak. One of you in Happy Mail sent me these wonderful cards and envelopes, and they have amazing texture, and the cards have dried flowers in them, and they just add so much in a journal. I mean, just a couple splotches here and there of this delicious looking handmade paper. It just adds some really nice texture. And I like to work on top of it and put interesting things. There's an envelope for my Valentine's card, slap some ink on the edge. And then I have this envelope that I got in Happy Mail, and I loved that little embellishment on it, so I just decided I was going to use it. I made it so it's a pocket on the page, and it's also a tuck spot. Then Andrea, my mixed media friend, she made this. She's Andy, ANDE.mess on Instagram if you want to see mixed media goodness. I don't know what this is. It is stamped and glittered and embossed. It is just a pile of goodness. wonderful, wonderful goodness. And I used my 3-in-1 glue to adhere the numbers to that. And I'll tell you, it did not work. Those suckers fell right off, and it got kind of moist. It softened it, like maybe the chemicals in the glue softened it. So I came back later and I used my Barely Art glue, and it worked perfectly. So one thing about like what I would call solvent type glues is sometimes they react with what you put them on, because I didn't feel like that thing was gooey until I put the glue on it. This is an envelope. I believe Beth sent it to me. My apologies if I got it wrong. I think she handmade it for me out of cardstock or printed out of patterned paper, and it's beautiful. Then this one is another thing. I think Kelly sent me that star and I loved it, and I just decided I was going to use it like on that other page where I used a star. And when I put it in a cupboard, if I pushed it to the back, it would have gotten bent anyway, so I just tore it off. And then I wanted a snowflake on it. I'm just having fun, and I'm using things that are sitting on the counter that I've decided I want to use. Here we go. I have that embellishment. I think I put that together last year. I don't remember what happened there. I was playing with brads, or maybe it came that way. I don't know. But I just decided to glue it on. In the end, I glue it crooked, and I'm okay with that. So we've made it to the 31st. We still have a lot of pages in the book. I let that dry, fixed the 29, came back. I needed a journaling card for the 31st, and I thought this high contrast blue would be wonderful in that envelope that she made for me. Then New Year's Eve, I had my silver Signo pen, which by the way, I need a new one now, and I just drew that out while I was watching TV. Probably should have gone and gotten a stamp because my pen didn't have enough juice to make it. Then I had all these extra photos that I ordered that weren't going to fit in my 2020 scrapbook page, so I just started putting them in here. There's the blue shelves that Mr. Crafting and Relaxing made, and that was Parker with her mouth open telling you her problems. And then I like this flippy page. I wanted a photo in it, and I thought this one of Pooh would be fabulous. This is early spring when we had a sunny day, and she went out and lounged, and I mean, honestly, it's probably her last day of lounging in the sun, and I just thought it was kind of neat to have it in there, but have it way tucked away. Then I'm looking at the other pages, and I decide I'm going to use this card for journaling, but I didn't want to use black because it would show through, so I'll go back with silver, and I do have some silver gel pens. Then Andrea bought this when she was out and about, and it is some sort of fishing thing. I don't know if you use it to make lures or you mark your boat. I don't know what you do with it. But for me, I'm going to die cut stars with it. It's self-adhesive. It is more iridescent than any of our papers. It is magical. Look at that. It's a knockout. It's made in Oregon. It's fabulous. I mean, it's $2.99 for 2 small sheets, but it's pretty cool. Then the backing is a nice white thick thing, and it even took the embossing from my dies, so I saved those too. I had this adorable Santa stamp that one of you sent me, and I hadn't used it, and then I had those stickers sitting there too, and I wanted to use those. Those came in Happy Mail also. That's what I'm doing. That paper clip was a gift. This was leftover from last year's paper pad. It's not the best color match on that page, but it worked out. Same thing here. This was leftover. It was sitting from a paper collection that I liked. So I am just grabbing stuff off the counter and saying it goes in. Okay, this, one of you Happy Mailed this to me, and I loved it. And I couldn't really make it work because it was a little bit long, but I did like the shape of it. And it says, what does it say? Keep shining, my bright and shining star. And so I thought that was wonderful for Pooh's page. Then I put one of those Pooh stars on it. I didn't like that it covered up her shadow. I don't know. It just, and it went over the bump of the thing, so I moved it. I had this felt joy. The funny thing is I had 2 of them, but I didn't realize I hadn't used one yet. And I don't know if it was self-adhesive. I couldn't figure it out, so I put glue on it. Look at how amazing it looks on that. So early on, I did some stamping on those possibly handmade paper cards. That's the envelope. And I did first stamp and then second kind of stamped it off. love how that turned out. I'm going to glue a million tiny embellishments in here, and I'm not going to show you all of that because I think it gets a little boring, but you get the idea. I go back and I fill stuff in. I'm putting glue dots on those stars, and I have these new containers, and I have this brilliant idea to lay them out instead of having my stuff all over the counter. Then did you notice I spilled the blue and silver star container like in the first second? So maybe it's not a perfect idea. When I use plates or like Tupperware type things, they don't spill over as bad, but I still think it's a pretty good idea because then I don't lose my tiny embellishments in the debris on the counter. On this page, I didn't feel like foil was the right fit for that awesome paper, so I used shimmer paper, and it had like a little touch of elegance. Then I finally figured out what I was going to do with that thing because I couldn't staple there. I couldn't undo that envelope because I had glued it down. So I took washi and a puddle of glue, put the washi over it, and then the clamps. Because if I didn't use the washi, the clamps would probably stick to the glue and I'd kind of have a mess. And the washi will look cute in the end. This was packing tape on Happy Mail that I loved and wanted to use. So I attached it to that flip. And then I got adhesive from my ATG gun down there too far, and then I couldn't figure out what to do, and I was like, of course, foil it. So I put a little tiny dot of foil down there. These stickers I've had forever. I got these at Expo or something. I have silver, I have white, I have chrome. You know, Christy Marcotte uses those little skinny ones in her card videos all the time. I never use these. I just forget about them. So I was bound and determined to use one on a page in this journal. And I thought, New Year, it needs a stripe of silver, right? That's fun. Then I had these stickers that were super cheerful, and I wanted to use them, and they went fabulously. That thing that Andrea made has black or some kind of ink around the edges, so it goes really good with the Life is Good sticker because it has both of those colors. Just sometimes things speak to me, and they say, put me here. And the same with this joy. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to decorate the envelope or leave it, but I just added an accent that went with the colors perfectly. So it has some joy on it too. And see how fun those envelopes are? And I didn't even cover up my address. I just left it. It's awesome. Okay, I have this random die cut jingle word on the counter, and I wasn't really feeling it. I tried it a couple different places. It's super dainty, kind of big, and jingle isn't really a word that means much to me. Then I found an empty page and glued some stuff on it, and then I decided to stamp it. But I was kind of junk journal or lazy about the stamping. That block has stamps on both sides, and I was too lazy to like take one off and get a good image. It's fine. I got some snowflakes. Oops, found a plain page, right? And I still have so much good stuff that I want to use. I have all these stars. These were from Happy Mail, I think from Kelly forever ago. So, I mean, I do use the stuff you guys send me. Don't worry, it just takes me a while. And I'm thinking about making a whole bunch of junk journals. I don't know if I'm going to finish them or if I'm just going to put them in my Etsy or give them away. I don't know, but there's too much stuff in here, so I need to use some of it up. Oh, these wood snowflakes were Happy Mail too, and I loved them. They're not too thick. They're beautifully cut. I put 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch glue dots on the back of them, tucked it in so it didn't show, and put it in there. Then I have these wonderful goodness things that I stitched, and I'm just using more of them. That glue is, I put a lot of glue on there, so we're still working around that. I let it all dry and I came back. I thought I was pretty done, but I found 2 things on the counter I hadn't used. That beautiful snowflake that came in Happy Mail, and then I hadn't used this florist stuff. So I realized I wanted to, and I thought it would be great here with another rosette. I realized when I was editing this video, I'm going to go back and put some bling in the middle of that rosette, but look at how that florist stuff looks. And if you wanted it thinner, you could cut the strips apart and just have one, and you could put it on a higher contrast paper and it would show better. There's that gorgeous snowflake. I'm going to glue in a ton of things. I'm going to add some stuff at the end. I'll probably have it sitting out on the counter for about a week and just add stuff to it. So if you want to flip, it would probably be end of the month, but just let me know. Look at how scrumptious it is. Oh my gosh. It's got a lot of good stuff sticking out of it. Craft scraps gave me some ideas on how to attach charms, so I'll probably be adding some charms too. Junk journaling is just so freeing. You can use envelopes, junk mail, all kinds of stuff, so you don't need a bunch of fancy products or happy mail. You can just go crazy. I think today I'm going to dye some more paper because I was really enjoying that blue paper and I'm just about out of it. I hope this inspires you to get junky and make something and just go crazy and have a great time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.